did you guys know we're being far too hard on our DC superheroes, okay? Like Julie Burchill so eloquently puts, fans expect too much from stars like Amber Heard and Ezra Miller. I'm tempted to read some of this because, yeah, we're expecting too much. Like, people telling the truth, not getting in several altercations that lead to police intervention, okay? Not choking people, not abducting them for your aspiring sex cult, okay? Maybe not beating up your lesbian lover in a Seattle airport, just little things like that. We're expecting too much from famous people. Yeah, we're just going to read a little bit of this because I want to peek into some of the madness. Okay, it seems particularly poignant now that to consider that Marvel Comics, why do you have to bring in another analogy in order to prop up your own narrative? That doesn't make any sense to me. As opposed to its rival DC stable in Granite Jaw Superman. Sorry, what? Okay. Listen, okay, if you're having to compare Marvel right now, who has... Okay, of like the most recognizable superheroes, okay, regardless of company, okay, like right up at the top 5, I think of the only ones prior to the movies and all that stuff, okay, what are the original superheroes that immediately come to mind? Superman and Batman, I would say that, and then maybe Spider-Man, like outside of that, and then the X-Men, like that's probably about it. But then even more specific than that, it kind of gets just a little bit too nebulous outside of that, okay? Like you got your specific devoted fan bases out from there, but in the popular zeitgeist, okay, in society itself, it's Superman, it's Batman, the two most popular, or even in the top 3, 2 of the 3 most popular superheroes that are out there, okay? And DC can't get a foothold and they can't get their fucking shit together, okay? They continue to put their financial solvency, they keep hitching their wagon to fucking losers, let's be completely honest. Because if you can remember, if you can cast your mind back to 2008, she's bringing up the analogy, so I'm just gonna go even before, okay? Marvel Comics had a grasp on the industry, all right? It was a big risk casting Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man in 2008. I remember when that casting was announced, even before that, because that's when the film was released, and it would have been filmed probably late 2006 or in 2007, something like that, okay? He was coming off of a huge stint of impropriety on multiple levels, okay? So they made it work, okay? They made it work with Iron Man of all characters, right? Like, this wasn't Superman, this wasn't Spider-Man, okay? This wasn't even like a standalone Wolverine film with Hugh Jackman. That was tried and failed the first time around, and then Logan, I hear, is terrific. No, this was Iron Man, somebody that people kind of know. Like, you could have started everything off with maybe Captain America, who's maybe a little bit better known, but this was like billionaire in a suit. And now, right now, if you reverse all that stuff, when you say a superhero film, Iron Man immediately comes to mind, okay? And when you talk about Batman right now, okay, you don't hear Robert Pattinson, you don't hear Affleck, okay? You think of the Christian Bale in the Christopher Nolan trilogy, okay? And that shit's getting on like a decade at this point, so it's kind of fucking pathetic. But if you wanted to structure your op-ed and it's like, oh, okay, fans are expecting too much from DC and their stars, you could have just confined it to DC's individual failure, but no, you gotta rope in Marvel and how much more successful they are. Whatever. But yeah, just a little bit more of this before we get on to more important things. Was traditionally the home of the hero who is all too human and who must overcome his weaknesses in order to do the best for the world that he found himself on, often cruelly crossed with a spider or such. Even still, okay, by the way, Superman's an alien, by the way, so the hero that was all too human. Good catch, though, whatever. Under the knowing hand of Stan Lee. Okay, why is it taking you so long to get to actual, DC properties and DC's casting decisions? Again, you'll bring up Stan Lee. You remember he died, though. So, anyways, young heroes routinely suffered from self-loathing. Sometimes their flaws were rendered in the cruelly freakish physicality, as is the case of the Hulk and the Thing. Yeah, okay. Cool. I don't think Hulk's a pedophile, and I don't think the Thing was beating up his wife, so What's your analogy here? Now, in a striking example of life imitating art, well, again, you're just drawing all your comparisons from the Marvel side, okay? Recent revelations about actors who have appeared in superhero films, such as Amber Heard in DC's Aquaman. What role did she play? You're so concerned about spinning this narrative. Tell me, who did she play in Aquaman? Aqua Lady. Good catch. To Ezra Miller's The Flash. Oh, at least he's the titular character. Well, them are the titular character. Have alerted the pay-per-view to the fact that people drawn to entertainment industry may be more likely than others to have personality defects. Again, outside of just being crazy leftists, take a look at most of the starring and major cast of the Marvel and DC films, okay? Like Henry Cavill, nothing really wrong with him. Affleck, again, outside of being a crazy leftist, nothing really wrong with him. Aquaman, Jason Momoa, everybody loves that guy. Like, I haven't seen any of his films or anything like that, but I know him, and I know he's a generally well-liked individual. And then over on the Marvel side, all of them, okay? All of them. Their politics are as red as the banner on the top of the Newsweek article, but still, they're decent, well-liked people within the industry, so what are we doing here, okay? It's just, there's two glaring omissions to that list of general likability, and they're both in very high-profile legal situations, okay? And it's not like they're making it better for themselves. Nobody knows where the fuck Ezra Miller is right now, outside of maybe buying up a bunch of farmland and trying to start figuring out where he can be unique and start branding bitches. And then you got Amber Heard. Amber Heard and her Today Show interviews. And boy, we're getting drip fed. And today we're getting a smorgasbord. So we got like a 10-minute clip and I can't wait to get there. But there was also something, and this also comes from Newsweek. It just shows you the dichotomy of opinions that go on out there, okay? Because it's full court press right now. And I'm going to pull up a tweet, okay? And it's from the Umbrella Man, or that Umbrella Man, or the Umbrella Guy. Yeah, it's that Umbrella Guy. You know, he was name-checked a couple of times, 3 times, I think, during the trial. He lives rent-free in Elaine Bredehoff's mind, and he's got it perfectly surmised here, and he's got the inside information, right? Everybody knows this now. He was talking with Adam Waldman, one of the lawyers for Johnny Depp, okay? There's major money backing Amber Heard's PR machine. A source called it one of the biggest PR pushes they'd ever fucking seen. And that's why I added the fucking for flourish, because I can. But it's pretty obvious, right? Because her lawyers, who have the charisma that can only be rivaled with what I left in the shower before we cut this video, why did they get like mainstream coverage? Okay, why did they get interviews on CBS's morning show? Why was Elaine on the Today Show? Okay, why is Amber getting a fucking full 4-camera shoot, Dateline interview? Why is there overwhelming coverage from mass media? Okay, that's why we took a look at this pile of shit first, okay? Because they can't, write like any factual arguments that are out there. Like we talked about yesterday, okay? Everything that is coming out in the press is either neutral on Johnny Depp or very, very, very pro Amber Heard right now. Like, they're just trying to say, just leave Amber alone. And remember what Amber said. She just wants Johnny Depp to leave her alone. That's why she's going on an interview tour, and that's why she's going to be signing a whole bunch of endorsement deals, because she told her truth up there on the stand. And kind of like yesterday, I heard inklings about what's in the clip in the snippet of the interview. So I know that she believes that she told the truth on the stand. Nobody believes her, but she's speaking her truth, and that's what's important after all, right, guys? But apparently, I want to know who this is, but remember, okay, so before the NBC interview, the one that's been leaked out on the Today Show and will be primed and locked and loaded for Dateline on Friday, and I can't fucking wait. I want to go through that more than I want oxygen in my lungs, blood in my veins, and cum in my balls. I want it more than any of those things. But she was told, Amber Heard was told, to stop playing the victim. I wonder who got the fuck beat out of them when they actually called her a victim, because you remember how she spurged out. But anyways, ahead of the NBC interview. So what did she go on to do? Well, we seen the little clip from yesterday. Continue to play the victim. All right, so Amber Heard continues to ruffle feathers on social media. not really. She's not really posting anything because she doesn't have to. She's getting enough coverage from media that's out there right now, doing her job for her, okay? I'm just also wondering, okay, getting all this coverage, right, from high-profile outlets. Like, this isn't, Jim's movie blog, okay, just writing, please leave Amber alone, okay? It's not the creepy bastard with the fucking, blanket over their head. Just please leave Amber alone. It's not those people. This is the New York Magazine. This is the Newsweek, okay? The New York Times, Washington Post. All of these fucking places are just lining up to just lick at her. Crazy slatch to just, I don't know, continue the narrative. Because she's going to continue to go on these fucking gaslighting events, okay, over and over and over again. This might be the most high-profile interview that she's going to give for the time being, but she's going to continue on this trek down this road to rewrite the narrative. Oh, if I just could have had all of the evidence that we had in that UK trial, which I was definitely party to, where we won overwhelmingly on literally everything, and it proved that he beat me mercilessly. Like, you can still see, well, actually, you can't. I got some, self-inflicted scars on my arm that I can just say was a part of the big glass cutting campaign in Australia and Tokyo, and back at on Sweetser, and then also in the penthouse where he threw me out the window alongside my phone. And then at the same time, he was also throwing Maker's Mark bottles down, and I was naked at the time as well, and I had the shirt wrapped around my neck at the same time. I bounced off of the top of the awning that was down there at the bottom, and then one of the bottles that he threw out the window as well, it just fell perfectly right in my cunt. It was terrible what happened to me. She's going to continue to try to gaslight everybody that's out there. That's what I'm just trying to get around, but also, paint some of the more fantastical claims, because she keeps building on everything that's out there. Again, she could have won this case if she would have kept it specific and had some sort of corroborating pictures, but instead, no, it got to the point where he would just beat me mercilessly like a Brock Lesnar ground and pound with fucking ring-bedecked hands, okay, so many times that the blood was all over the comforter, all over the pillows, but all you could get was just a little divot mark in a bed frame. Oh, it was busted. Well, that's not how shit busts, but whatever. You keep making these more fantastical claims. It's going to get to the point where, yeah, and then Johnny killed me while we were off in Somalia while I was on my orphan feeding trip. Okay, but thankfully I'm here with you today because I had the opportunity to tell my truth in court. It's going to get even wilder. Trust me, she is not going to let this go. For as much as she just wants to be left alone, she's doing a horrible job doing it, and she has a lot of money. I wonder from who. If we eventually do get the receipts on this, how much money do you want to put down that it's the ACLU funding this, okay? They haven't rescinded her ambassadorship for being the face of gendered violence. You know what? Hey, at least when they called it that, they were trying to hedge their bets a little bit, okay? They didn't say a victim of gender-based violence, so I guess they're getting their money's worth. All right. Many were quick to dismiss Heard's upcoming appearance on NBC. Oh, I wasn't. I don't think many people were, other than just being like, why does she get an interview slot? That doesn't make any sense. Why doesn't Johnny just wants to move on, okay? With British journalist Piers Morgan calling for her to stop playing the victim. Piers Morgan, you need to fuck off. As much as Tug lives in the mind of Elaine Bredehoft rent-free, I'm sure till this day, Piers Morgan still wakes up in a cold sweat just hearing, my wife is a doctor. Make sure to sign up for dailywire.com. You can get all the behind-the-scenes videos that we make. That fat motherfucker still finds new and interesting ways to embarrass himself. I don't know how if he can still continue to get work, Amber Heard will find a way. You fucking bet your bottom dollar on that. Heard lost her multi-million-dollar defamation case against ex-husband Johnny Depp. And yes, now she's going to be given this big, long, edited interview with Savannah Guthrie. And like I said before, we got more clips on it. So let's get started, shall we?
About more than a week since the verdict. As you sit here with me now, has it sunk in?
How well have you been holding that L? Here, let me think up a lie here real quick. Like this bitch, just fucking immediately. Just be honest for once in your life. Christ.
How could it? It's surreal and difficult. In part, yes. This has been a long time
coming.
Do you stand
Wow, nice hard cut there. But anyways, the fact that she is once again telling you one thing, yes, it's been a long time coming, and yeah, you know what, it's been a lot, doing that exact same, the vocal tics, the little lip smack to try to really think about something to say, and that's the best you could come out with. No wonder you lost. You just can't be charming at all.
by your testimony and your accusations against Johnny Depp about abuse?
Of course, to my dying day, will stand by every word of my testimony.
Yo, that's big sad that you're going to continue down this path of lies. I still believe that I told the truth, and I'm sure some of those things definitely did happen to you. Just not very many of them involved Johnny Depp, so oh well. They just played a bunch of really cringe social media stuff and a bunch of TikToks, which I think I just got secondhand cancer off of. So this is what this question is going to preface in her response here. I'm sure it's going to be very honest and awesome. It probably has something to do with what do you think about the social media response, which remember everybody was supposed to be sequestered from, but yeah, what were they doing? Just using your testimony as a backdrop in order to parrot reality, something that you're not terribly familiar with. So I understand. I don't know what we're going to get, but we're going to be in for a ride.
Majority of this trial was played out on social media. I think that this trial is an example of that gone haywire, gone amok, and the jury.
Okay, listen, even still, it doesn't matter. It was better for everybody to get to see your dishonesty on blast, okay? Like, it was nice for that to happen. Because you got to testify in the UK when the Sun was being sued. You got to testify behind closed doors. You were able to spin your web of lies without anybody knowing what's going on. All they got was just transcript. And that's what you wanted here, okay? You wanted your story to just be read out, to be written out in black and white, and nobody could see your funky fucking facial expressions, your lack of tears. All they would have was just pause for an emotional break, and it's like, oh my god, she cried like 3 or 4 times on direct examination. That's really tough. We should definitely believe her. Hashtag believe all women. But when they got to see it in person, okay, the jury probably still, okay, if everything's all equal, probably still would have came to the exact same conclusion at the end of the day, because we still haven't heard, okay, from any credible juries that are out there that social media played any part in this, okay? This is just the aftermath. This has nothing to do with the trial, but she's once again just going to go blame everybody else for her own shortcomings. You should have came up with a more plausible lie. You would have had a better case that way, just saying.
The jury is not immune to that.
You think the jury saw it?
How could they not? I think
Of course the jury seen it, and they just seen my testimony back, and then that made them think, Jesus Christ, this fucking bitch is a liar.
even the most well-intentioned juror.
Remember, guys, they were just good people, but they were brainwashed like I was for 5 years, where I had a man pay for everything that I could ever want. All he asked was that I just didn't show my tits in every role, that I would stop dressing like a fucking hose bag whenever I'd go out, and that I would just stop beating him. Could you imagine living in such a controlling situation? I understand. He's very charismatic and a much better actor than me. Yes, bitch.
It would have been impossible to avoid this.
Yeah, again, if you guys want to watch this back on NBC's, did I say CBS yesterday? NBC's proprietary fucking nonsense player. I'll have a link to the video and everything like that, and they got a nice little recap at the bottom too, if you just want to read it after all, if you're one of those people. By all means, watch it there, okay? I'm just cutting out their little fucking editorials, because now they're going to be talking about the reception outside of the courthouse every day, which they didn't really start popularizing until after the break, because I don't remember seeing any video from outside the courthouse beforehand, okay? You heard stories, okay? And it wasn't until like the New York Post first published a piece, okay, and I'm just accessing my memory archives on this one, until they ran a piece on the people inside the courthouse, because I was also hearing from other people who went to the courthouse that for the most part, for the first week or so, like even when Johnny Depp was on the stand, there wasn't really a lineup to get into the courthouse. And then after the week off, okay, we seen what happened then, and I think that piece was published like the Wednesday or Thursday before the break, before Amber got on the stand. I think so. I think it was something like that, okay? And then it started to become a circus after that. So beforehand, there wasn't very many people at the courthouse. Okay, you can go back and you can watch some of the early days of testimony. There's plenty of space, okay, in the gallery as well. And then it started to foment a little bit when people started to realize that, oh, this is public, we can actually go down there. Oh, okay, cool. And then by the end, when the verdicts, okay, and closing arguments in the last couple of weeks, like I said there, then you started to get the responses of everybody showing up to the courthouse. Again, what sort of influence does that have on the people already inside the courthouse? That is, of course, unless, like the jury's already seated in the courtroom. I thought I heard that it was on the 5th floor anyways. So unless they could see directly into the parking lot where everybody showed up, where there were cheering fans for Johnny Depp, and then there was just general silence and kind of like a malaise of a boo that was there for Amber whenever she'd show up, but then she'd have her sister after her sister was done testifying, and there was a very nice, maybe orchestrated video after the fact of somebody showing up with a plant, I guess, to symbolize, perfectly articulate the way that Amber Heard presented on the stand. Oh, here's a nice plant for you to represent your IQ. But yeah, no, tell us how it was everything else except for your testimony that sunk your case, Amber. I'm dying to hear.
Single day I passed for 3, 4, sometimes 6 blocks, city blocks lined with people holding signs saying burn the witch, death to Amber.
Put my baby in a microwave? Well, that sucks. Okay, cool. And again, the only signs I seen was like justice for Johnny. We stand with Johnny Depp. We love you, Johnny. I don't remember, but again, it's kind of like, oh, God, I hate to be self-serving here for a second, but it's like being a content creator. It's like you can take a look at the different comments that are on there. Just do it yourself, okay? Go to one of your favorite YouTubers' accounts, okay, and just troll through the comments. You'll see a whole bunch of like just generally positive comments, but every once in a while you'll see one that's just absurdly negative that might not have anything to do with the content or anything like that. It's just somebody having a bad day and needing a place to express it. It's on there, and that'll be the one that sticks out, especially if it's targeted directly at you. So I guess maybe I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And again, it's like all of her evidence that was at trial. You can't really corroborate any of this stuff. I've seen some signs that they had death threats on them. Again, I don't really know what a cardboard sign on a stick means when it comes to a death threat, a credible threat against your life. But if you've seen them, again, I can't take that away from you. But also at the same time, can you like corroborate any of this stuff? Again, if you're wondering why you lost in court, just do that little mental exercise for a second. Okay, but I had pictures, yeah, of your fucking plastic surgery, you cunt.
After 3.5 weeks, I took the stand and saw just a courtroom packed full of Captain Jack Sparrow fans.
They weren't allowed to wear any paraphernalia that had anybody's faces, okay? The bailiffs were instructed, everybody at the courthouse was instructed that anybody that had any sort of designated paraphernalia on, they were not allowed into the courtroom, okay? So, yes, they might have mentally been all Jack Sparrow fans, as she so wonderfully put, but have you seen Willy Wonka, okay? Have you know what, maybe they just understand that, there's a high-profile case of male domestic violence, and there's somebody who is so obviously fucking evil who has perpetrated that against him, okay? Maybe they just wanted to see that, and the fact that you guys are, well, actually, he's an S-tier celebrity, and you are probably going to be doing porn if you don't get your ducks in a row. But maybe because it was such a high-profile case, maybe that's why people wanted to show up. And yes, Johnny Depp is charismatic. Yes, Johnny Depp is likable. And you've been talking about him so much, you'd think, okay, and you fucked him for so long, you'd think some of that would have rubbed off. But it didn't, apparently. Sucks to suck.
Who were vocal, energized.
Can you put into words? Again,
nice hard cut. There were like 2 outbursts. There were 2 times. One was unprompted by the judge, and another one was Rottenborn had to come up to the bench in order for the judge to be made aware of, in the same room that people gasped. I forget exactly when it was, but it was either during Johnny on rebuttal, or it was either on Amber on rebuttal. But yeah, no. Those were the only two outbursts. But if you're saying that people inside the courtroom were vocal supporters, that's another lie. And we actually have the evidence to prove, once again, that you're a liar. But I forgot you're telling the truth about everything. So, yeah.
How that felt.
This was the most humiliating and horrible thing I've ever been through.
God, these cuts are done with a fucking hatchet. Did you notice that at the beginning, though? Okay, where she's just, Savannah asks the questions, and for the love of God, get a better makeup person. Like, this isn't even in fucking 4K or anything like that. And, okay, she should be running the fucking Oakland Raiders in the 1970s, for Christ's sakes. But anyways, no, she has to take so long to just try to make up a lie on the fly, but, oh my Lord. So remember what the question was. I had to go back and check here real quick. The question was, what was it like being in the courtroom with a bunch of people who you suspect are Johnny Depp fans? And then again, yeah, it's horrible. I felt so bad. This was the worst thing that I ever had to go through. Again, she was apparently told beforehand to stop playing the victim. All right then.
I've never felt more removed from my own humanity. I felt less than human.
Then you shouldn't have beat him up, okay? You shouldn't have been an abuser. You shouldn't have lied, because liars and abusers aren't humans. They get punished as much.
Let's go back to the day of the verdict. Were you feeling confident?
Look away, take a big sigh. Nope, but she's going to tell you how yes, because I had the truth on my side.
That's a great question. I wish I could say yes to that.
Oh, okay, yeah, so I wanted to say yes, but everybody was in such a Johnny trance. I understand, because everybody's against me.
I want to say yes to you, but it wouldn't be true. Even if you think that I'm lying, you still couldn't look me in the eye and tell me that you think on social media there's been a fair representation.
Do you?
Bitch, it don't matter. You were lying on the stand. People are mean to me on Twitter. All right. Okay, so now we're going to get into the UK case. Hilarious. And even, okay, some of the editorializing on this beforehand, it was a voiceover by Savannah Guthrie, and she said that in a similar case in the UK, didn't say that it was the exact same case, which I'm sure Amber's probably going to be doing here. Anyways, it was similar, in as much as a drive-by shooting is the same as the assassination of Lincoln is the same. Okay, similar. That, and also they were talking about how she lost completely and fully about the op-ed, so I'd imagine this is where this line of questioning is going to go. And again, the editing on this is hysterical because she's just so bad. But again, I got to mention this as well. It's the best look that she had. Why didn't she look like this in court, for fuck's sakes? She looks like a good-looking woman, okay? Knowing what I know about Amber Heard would not smash. Not knowing what I don't, or what I know about Amber Heard now, totally would smash. So, again, look reasonable, especially that expression helps out quite a bit.
Handled it dealt with the same substantive issues that had even more evidence in.
That is a lie. That is not true. But again, this is her talking point, and she's going to be running with it.
In fact, my evidence was largely kept out. Really important pieces of evidence kept.
The evidence that she's mentioning is the self-reporting to her therapist, the same therapist who came to the wedding and was a part of her life for a while, but those are what we like to call hearsay documents, because it's self-reporting of her experiencing something without any corroborating evidence, and that was some of the evidence that was used in the UK in order to bolster her claims that she was never on trial for. But again, it was the exact same stuff, and we won in the UK. You weren't party in the UK. You were just testifying on behalf of the Sun. You mong.
Out. Done differently, handled differently by a judge instead of a jury.
Some evidence is.
You want to talk about the backstage relationships that judge might have been having, and the fact that you could convince somebody so heavily connected with the UK as opposed to a panel of 7 of your peers? That ought to tell you something. Just saying, we had so much more evidence over there. No, you didn't. It was a different set of evidentiary standards. It was a different case all to fucking together. Liar.
Admissible in a UK court that is not admissible in a US court. Do you think that maybe he just had better lawyers?
I will.
Oh shit, good question. And it's pretty obvious if you were paying attention. But anyways, yeah, no, the fact that she laid that out, that was awesome. Okay, so like I said, I heard a little bit about this interview, so I kind of know a bit of what's coming. But knowing Amber Heard, I don't know anything about this, okay? But knowing what we learned from the trial, I don't know her personally or anything like that, nor would I want to at this point. But I wouldn't be too shocked if she throws her lawyers under the bus, but I think she just goes directly on attack.
Will say his lawyers did certainly a better job of distracting the jury from the real issues.
For some people.
Nice cut again. Anyways, you could hear the audio drop off right after that. Okay, that's what I mean by cut, not the fact that they just switched camera angles, because that can happen contemporaneously. Don't worry about that. No, Johnny's lawyers did a better job of distracting from the evidence. No, they still had access to all of the evidence that was presented, okay? They had access to all of their notes that was there. And for every time that somebody went onto the stand, your lawyers got to question as well, so they had an opportunity to clear up anything that was obfuscated to the jury under your conditions, what you would think would be a confusing situation. And the judge is such a non-factor in this. Like, I don't even know why we'd bring up a Judge Azkarate at this point anymore. She was just overwhelmingly fair, really. She was kind of shit on evidentiary rulings to begin with, but she got progressively better after Elaine started to piss her off quite a bit. And I was like, what if any? What if any's not a cure-all? Oh, fuck, I'm screwed. I don't know what to do. So yeah, just saying that Johnny had better I guess magicians for lawyers. Is that what she's trying to do? This bitch is amazing.
Well, they just were frankly disgusted by the whole thing and don't have much sympathy for either one of you. Can you understand that?
Absolutely. I would not blame the average person for looking at this and how it's been covered and not think that it is Hollywood brats at their worst.
Yo, get fucked with that. I gave you credit there for a minute, but then you gotta throw it under the bus totally, you stupid old crypt keeper. Oh yes, the way that it's been covered is so terrible. The facts are still the facts at the end of the day. You were going to lose. There was no outside pressure that was going to help this out, okay? In fact, if it was a closed courtroom, the struggle to get into the courthouse would have been even greater, and then you would have started to get those activists in the gallery, okay? I don't know why I keep posing it on open mouth Amber there, but I guess this is the time where she just can't shut her mouth. Unbelievable. You'd still be married if you just kept that face. But no, again, just blame everybody else, right? All right, yeah, because I knew I wanted to talk about something specific, so I just ran it back there for a second. But no, Hollywood brats at their worst. That's a talking point where if you guys have been following along for enough time, you know I hate that talking point so very, very much, okay? Because this is a bigger issue than just two celebrities bickering over millions, okay? The root of this issue is domestic violence and an outright fucking liar. Somebody who is projecting everything that they did onto their partner, okay? And it's a guy finally being able to break through, okay, in order to tell his side of this story for the first time, okay, in public for the world to see, and she's pissed off about that. She will not get over this because she was found out to be exactly who she is. This is what the wake of former partners that she has. This is what everybody else knows, all of her inner circle. That's why nobody is around her anymore except for her kicked dog of a sister, okay? Nobody wants to be around this bitch after a certain amount of time. They just no longer become useful. You're gone. That's what these people know, okay? And now the world knows because she's not all there, and she bought in whole hog to her lie. And well, hey, after this interview, I'm sure Amber will just get right back up on her cross and just continue to be the fucking martyr for, damaged women and domestic violence survivors. Yes, my knuckles will never be able to heal properly. Get fucked.
What people don't understand is it's actually so much bigger than that. This is not only about our First Amendment right to speak.
But here's the
Did she say sexual? What the fuck are you talking about? I know where she's going to be going after this, so I'll just let Savannah say that. I'm still pissed off at you.
The thing about the First Amendment. The First Amendment protects free speech. It doesn't protect lies that amount to defamation. And that was the issue in the case.
Yes, exactly. You can't
Choose your words carefully now, Amber. And that's a good question. That's a good point. And again, just another great pause right there. But she didn't outright say that, you know what, hey, you kind of lied. But she's heavily implicating it by the fact that, yeah, the jury ruled like wholly in Johnny's favor, but she did win one of the counterclaims, so don't worry about that. But yeah, no, the First Amendment doesn't protect lies. So she just also at the same time, well, it looks like to the uncultured public that are out there, okay, that it's like, oh, she's just asking a really hard question. Oh my God, she's going to get Amber to admit that she lied on the stand. But then at the same time, she's also, okay, setting up Amber, okay, by tossing an underhanded pitch there for her to knock out of the park. I know I told the truth at all times, and you guys should be really mad at Johnny for him lying about never doing those horrible things to me. I'm pretty sure that's where she's going to go from here.
go into the free speech does not protect you if you go into a crowded theater and you scream fire.
Wrong, 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 wrong. That has been debunked by literally everybody. Hey, guess what? If there are people that are right up at the top, okay, if they're on stage right there and there's a fire, okay, they're allowed to say that. If there's one that's unexpected in the play that is there in the front row, yes, you can yell fire, okay? And guess what? If you need to call for it in the show as well, you can yell fire as well. But guess what? If you lie about a situation, that is where the First Amendment protection stops. And that's what you did here by extraction, okay? Somebody told a lie. That's not protected speech. There you go.
We get the concept of free speech from the Greeks. My understanding of
From the Greeks, huh? Tell us more about your sexual past.
what that means is not just the freedom to speak. It's a freedom to speak truth to power.
Here this bitch goes, redefining words once again, okay? The freedom of speech, as I know it, it's you're able to speak truth to power, and that's what I was doing. By speaking truth to power, I have to employ outright lies and slander and defamation, which was proven by a jury of your peers. But then also, in order to speak to power, because Johnny Depp is just such a terrible man that had his career entirely taken away from him with just the simple editorial. Okay, cool. I'm speaking truth to power, and I just don't have any power, because look at me. I'm just a damsel in distress. No, you're a 36-year-old single mother.
But truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke.
That's all she spoke. Guys, this entire time we've all been wrong. Amber is just telling the truth, and she's going to go down swinging. And that's why it might seem like Savannah's like, oh my God, I can't believe it. Oh my God, she's finally pressing Amber on the fact that, oh yeah, she's going to say that, she was telling a lie. But then here's Amber over here just slipping the punch, grabbing the bat, and hitting her right across her old fucking face by just knocking it out of the park. I told the truth. Johnny lied. He's the one who should be up on perjury charges in the UK and Australia. Oh fuck, that's me again, and here I am projecting.
And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
Is that going to be the sequel for the Washington Post? Okay, outside of the original language that you got successfully sued on. Okay, I spoke out against sexual violence. I became the face of domestic violence. Now you're going to be the face of speaking truth to power. Okay, so at the time, cast your mind back. When did all of this shit go down? In the early 2010s? Yeah, okay, back when you were, could be a respectable face. You're going to tell me a pretty, blonde, white, liberal woman is going to be speaking truth to power? Truth to power. You think that that exact same breakdown is the one who's speaking truth to power and doesn't have all the power in society? Wow, just galaxy levels of non-comprehension. Jesus.
In the closing arguments, the Depp lawyer called your testimony the performance of a lifetime and said you were acting. What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
What? Wait, what? I left that one in, okay, because it's court footage as well. But wait, what? Johnny Depp has scissors for fingers? Wait, what? Are you? I hope she explains this. I just had to stop that because that's so stupid. I think literally, is there blood coming out of my ear? Because wow, that was dumb. Yeah, no. Again, Camille did a great job on closing arguments, and then she delivered probably the best rebuttal I've ever heard. But your lawyers had this disjointed close and then left them with 6 minutes on rebuttal. Your team had the final word, and you had arguably the best lawyer up there, definitely on your team. Arguably. He was up there and he used this 6 minutes to reinforce your wonky narrative about the First Amendment, which again, just don't mind the whole lying thing. Outside of that, you know, she has the right to speak whatever she wants, and she didn't even name Johnny Depp. But okay, now she's gonna be attacking Camille. See, this bitch is big mad. Okay, that was perfect casting on Johnny Depp's side. Okay, to have a really cute Latina girl, okay, fucking incredibly competent lawyer do the cross-examination, somebody who got right under Amber Heard's skin, okay, because there's a little tweet that's out there, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pull this up. This was the last glance that they exchanged after Amber was just getting off the stand after she got eviscerated on rebuttal by Camille. Camille staring at Amber, and Amber is staring right back, and you can cut the tension with, I guess, one of Johnny Depp's scissors fingers. That's fucking bitch.
I'm the performer. I had listened to...
Oh, again, with these fucking horrific edits. But anyway, still, yeah, you make that fantastical claim, okay? The man who had scissors for fingers, and I'm the performer, and then dead silence. Maybe this is, okay, maybe I'm misjudging this interview when it's going to finally be released, okay? And we're going to be doing like a 5-hour react to it, and I could give less of a fuck, who cares? But even still, okay, I'm the performer. Maybe this is just going to be a comedy, okay? Maybe this is just going to be an unintentional, unironic, like fucking high concept Andy Kaufman shit. That would be great. I'd like that. 2
weeks of testimony insinuating that, or saying quite directly that, you know, I'm a terrible actress.
Well, you're really reaffirming that right now in this clip because that was laborious to get through.
So I'm a bit confused how I could be both.
The Depp team argued that you were the abuser.
True facts. All the evidence backs that up, okay? Even the discredited text messages that Johnny couldn't bring in as well, okay? All of the audio clips that weren't allowed into the courtroom. Everything proved that you were the abuser and Johnny was, in fact, the abusee. So how are you going to spin this? Please, for the love of God, make it good.
That you instigated physical violence. Did you?
I never had to instigate it. I responded to it. When you're living in violence and it becomes normal, as I testified to, you have to adapt.
You say you were responsible.
Again, the hatchet job on the audio because she was just, meandering on. But again, these are little teaser clips and all that stuff, so maybe she'll have a much longer response to this stuff, and there'll be fewer edits, but this is a 10-minute clip. But anyways, yeah, no, okay, so you were the abuser. I lived in abuse. I was born in it, molded by it. You just merely adopted the violence. I do the weird stance to take, okay? I just reacted to it. It was just Johnny always constantly being the abuser. You only testified, because I remember a lot of your testimony, because I've been living in this shit, not as long as you have, and not as long as you will into the future, but you testified to hitting him at the top of the stairs at whoever's account of this stair story you want to believe. The truth, the Johnny's, yours, the truth is somewhere in the middle, I'm sure on that one, but I can bet for certainty, based on the amount of the different accounts that were there, Johnny was in no means throwing anybody down the stairs. It was Kate Moth all over again with some rando. But still, okay, so I was only reacting to it, but every time you testify, with the exception of your recanting of the stair incident, you never hit him back. You were just always running away, and it was the 3 days of hell in Australia, depending on which testimony or depositions you want to look at. But okay, then, again, now she's just shifting the story once again. We're going to get so many more fantastical claims in this interview. It's so wonderful. I love it.
Bonding, but there is evidence. There are tapes in which you acknowledge hitting. There are tapes in which you say, I started the fight.
I know much has been made of these audio tapes. They were first leaked online after being edited.
They're still your words in your voice. Are you going to claim that not what? It's a deep fake. What? Okay, you're the bitch who wouldn't turn over the fucking metadata, okay? You were the person who had your pictures. Oh my god, it was just... I took a picture with the light on and the light off within the exact same second, in the exact same pose, with your eyes in the exact same position. Literally everything is the same, but those are two different pictures. Okay, again, no, it's everybody else's. Now it's, okay, it's the jury, it's the judge, it's Johnny Depp, it's Johnny Depp's lawyers, it's the gallery, it's the people outside the courthouse, it's social media, and now it's editing software and people who leaked the audio that was out there. It's everybody's against Amber, and you just have to listen and believe. She's amazing.
What you would hear in those clips are not evidence of what was happening. It was evidence of a negotiation.
I did not punch you. I hit you. I don't know what the fuck motion my hand made, but I didn't hit you. Okay, Johnny, you're being such a pussy. Grow the fuck up, Johnny. Is that a negotiation? I don't know. I haven't been in too many boardrooms recently, but I don't think any negotiations happen like that, okay? Normally, they're done with level-headed individuals, not ones who are cackling like a fucking coked-out demon, okay? Not ones where you're constantly denigrating your opponent, okay? Not somebody who you have to yell at and called a fat, sad, washed-up old man, okay? Not somebody that you have to control. Oh, but, but those were all edited, though. Okay, by who? Wes Craven for a fucking horror film?
I've had to talk about that with your abuser.
But I am looking at a transcript that says, he says, you start physical fights, and you say, I did start a physical fight. I can't promise you I won't get physical again. I mean, this is in black and white. I understand.
Yeah, but those were all leaked, okay?
Understand context. But you're testifying and you're telling me today I never started a physical fight, and here you are on tape saying you did.
As I testified on the stand about this.
Whoa, that was a big old negative head motion, like she is pissed off by that question. As I testified in court, I just had to point that out real quick.
Is that when your life is at risk, not only will you take the blame for things that you shouldn't take the blame for, but when you're in an abusive dynamic, psychologically, emotionally, and physically, you don't have the resources that, say, you or I do with the luxury of saying, hey, this is black and white, because it's...
What the fuck? Here, I have you dead to rights. You don't know what it's like to be in an emotional, abusive relationship with everybody's against me, and you don't know what that type of relationship is like. Could you answer the question? Sure, miss, can you please answer the question? Just answer the fucking question, Amber. Just answer the question. Excuse me, Judge, can we have the witness please be instructed to answer the fucking question? Oh my God.
It's anything but when you're living in it.
But then there are other times, there's another tape where you're taunting him and saying, oh, tell the world, Johnny Depp, I, a man, am a victim of domestic violence.
20-second clips or the transcripts of them.
Those audio tapes are hours long. Some of them, the ones that weren't allowed into the courtroom, okay? I had a mountain of evidence. There's also hours and hours of audio recordings of you admitting to everything that went on and you being the outright abuser in Australia. Okay, that one wasn't allowed. But again, like a 6-minute clip, we went through like an hour's worth of audio a few weeks back at this point, okay? 20-second clips? No. You've been a psychopath for minutes, hours, weeks, months, and years. So let's not try to rewrite history too much, but you're allowed to get away with it because this is also edited and leaked in parts as well. Projection once again.
Are not representative of even the 2 hours or the 3 hours that those clips are excerpt from.
Could your side have just put the whole 3 hours in then?
I'm not a lawyer, as I testified to.
I'm not a lawyer. Yeah, no, yeah, they could. They could. And they did. Okay. So if the jury was so inclined to listen to all that stuff, they definitely could. But again, if it was leaked online beforehand, but then it was brought into evidence, okay, and social media had such a sway on the jury, the fact that they were getting reboosted and re-edited, okay, it was mostly just vocal boosts and adding little that Brian fella, okay, incredibly average. That's what he is on YouTube. Sorry, that Brian fella is what he is on Twitter. But he was the one who volume boosted and then also had that little captioning as to what both parties and all the parties that were in there as well were saying on those audio recordings. Okay, they put all of that stuff into evidence, at least what they could that didn't have the hearsay information in it. Okay, but all of that was put into evidence. Okay, it was just the demonstratives that was played in court. But you can go back and listen to all of those evidentiary rulings that were happening at the same time. Okay, they were moving to put the entire recording into evidence. They were just going to be playing 20 seconds, 30 seconds, couple of minutes at a time. Okay, so I don't know what she's talking about here. Clearly she isn't a lawyer. She's not much of a performer either.
I was talking in those recordings as a person in extreme amount of emotional, psychological, and physical distress.
He says he never hit you.
He
never. Is that a lie?
Here it comes.
Yes, it is.
Who are you going to believe? The evidence or your own lying eyes?
What about the witnesses who said they have seen you instigate physical violence?
I can cut you off right there, Amber. I already know the answer. Okay, they're all on his payroll. They're all allured by the aura that Johnny Depp possesses. Okay, I got you, sis.
I've seen firsthand how people will file rank and support the person they depend on.
Did they all come in and lie in court?
I am not here to call any of his witnesses any names. I'm here to just kind of talk about it from what it felt like for me as a person who sat there.
So did everybody else lie? No, I just want to say that I can understand why they wanted to show up, because again, they're all on the payroll. Okay, they just came in and they were all allured by Johnny. They know what they saw. I'm just telling you the truth. This bitch has a way with words. She should, in fact, she should be a writer. She should be an author, okay? As a screenplay writer or something, because she can weave a fantastical, not very coherent or, a really chronologically accurate story, but she definitely has a type of special grasp on the English language that only a small percentage, I'd say like 1% to 2% of the population possesses. And it's pretty amazing what she can do with a shifting vocabulary.
When I asked his lawyers, why do you think you won? And the answer I got was, because she never took responsibility for anything she did in the...
Oh, this is going to be really, really, really good. But again, no, this is just going to be, I did, Johnny didn't. Everybody's lying except for me, but I'm not here to call anybody a liar. I'm just here to heavily imply that they're lying.
Marriage.
I did do and say horrible, regrettable things throughout my relationship.
They were all done in defense. Oh my God, I never did anything unprompted though.
I behaved in horrible, almost unrecognizable to myself ways.
All right, just stop right there and you can finally be free of that big monkey that's on your back. But I can see the clip goes just for a couple more seconds. So you're going to fuck it all up.
There's so much, I have so much regret. I freely and openly and voluntarily talked about what I did. I talked about the horrible language. I talked about being pushed to the extent where I didn't even know the difference between, right and wrong. I will always continue to feel
narcissism, a compulsive need to lie, to obfuscate the truth, to rearrange events, to take a horrific thing that I might have done to somebody else and co-opt the story. Tell us, Amber, anything except for the truth.
Like I was a part of this, like I was the other half of this relationship, because I was. And it was ugly and could be very beautiful. It was very, very toxic.
It was the one-way street of toxicity.
We were awful to each other. I made a lot of mistakes.
No tears detected. None were sent.
a lot of mistakes, but I've always told the truth.
Why do you gotta end on a lie, Amber? Come on now. Amazing. Amazing! And guess what? We're going to be getting another clip tomorrow. It's... I don't know what they're going to be saving for Dateline, but I'd imagine they're probably going to have some more sound bites like Camille convincing the jury that Johnny had scissors for fingers. Sorry, what? Oh, she's the gift that keeps on giving, my friends. I thought, like I said, we could put this in the rearview mirror, but she is never going to give up on this case. She is going to continue to further her cause because she has literally nothing better to do. With all of that said, I thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.